Amazon or Walmart, Etsy, your own Shopify site, Wayfair, Overstock, or House. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, every single one of you, and this as you being the supplier, needs to create a pleasant customer experience. And that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Heather, and we help product-based businesses grow their e-commerce sales channel. In other words, we help you sell your products online. So, what is the customer experience? In the most basic sense, y'all, it is the customer journey. It's what it's like for Sue or Sam to, go to a given site and search for the product, find your product, click into it, the buying experience, the shipping experience, the delivery experience, the unboxing experience, and then it's the assembly if required experience, all of that. And in today's society, do you know how many people do one of two things? Number one, if it is an amazing experience when a product gets delivered, they actually record this stuff and they put it up online. They also take pictures and use it as reviews. And they put reviews up. Hey, we all like reviews, right? But number two, here's the other thing. If it is a bad experience, people are much more likely to post that on social media and post a bad review. I don't know what it is exactly about human nature, but we are so much more quick to point out the bad than the good. So we want to turn this around to your advantage, and we want to create an amazing customer experience. So if this is your own site, let's say you're selling on a Shopify site, here are some things that you want to make sure your Shopify site does that promotes a good customer experience. Number one, you need to make it easy for the customer to search the products. If you don't have a good navigation that is clear and easy to understand, then it's confusing and that customer is just going to pop off. You need to have an easy way to check out and to purchase. Your checkout process needs to be seamless. You don't want them to have to make 3 or 4 clicks to get to checkout. You want to make it as simple as possible. You also want to communicate clearly with your customer. So for example, if they place the order, I just saw this on Twitter the other day. I can't remember the name of the business, but I'm going to tell you the story. So this is what happened. There was a customer who purchased a product. It was from a small company that had a Shopify site. So they purchased the product about 5 days ago, and they said they had received 9 emails since that time, but none of them were in relation to their order. They didn't even get an order confirmation email. So you need to make sure you're communicating with your customer appropriately. You need to have an order confirmation email. You need to have an email that thanks them for the order. You need to have an email that lets them know when the product ships. You need to make sure they have the tracking information. And then you want to follow up at the end and say, thank you so much. Could you tell us about your experience and leave us a review? Right, that's like 4 or 5 emails right there. You are communicating every step of the process with the customer. And 90% of us really appreciate that. So you don't want to be like the company that got called out on Twitter for sending 9 emails and none of them were about the order, right? So that's the customer communication experience. The next thing you want to do is communicate the expectations. And I know that if you're selling on like an Amazon or a Wayfair or some of those sites, some of this may be out of your hand, but it is not. And you can learn something from these companies with the way they communicate with the customer. For example, on Wayfair, it actually states the delivery time, like it gets to your door by. So for example, if a supplier takes 72 hours, or that's 3 days, to ship a product, and based on where that customer lives, it's going to take another 5 days for shipping, then the delivery date, it's going to be at your door date, it's going to be set for 8 to 10 days later, to give the customer clear expectations of when they can expect their product. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure customers really understand how long it's going to take for them to receive their product. How long is the actual shipping? So, that's where in the case of Wayfair, they use the estimated delivery date. All right, the next place, if you are selling on somebody else's website, you don't have control of a lot of things, but the thing you do have control over is the unboxing of the product. You have the ability to control what that customer experience is from the time it hits their doorstep. right? And that's what we want to talk about. So, how is the product presented when it gets to their doorstep? Is it let's say that you are have ordered some, let's see what's something we could order, some baskets. I just happened to look up in my office and see baskets. And, so we want to make sure that the box isn't damaged, right? Because that's going to send a bad example. So you want to make sure you're using sturdy packaging materials. And I have a video on that if y'all need to go back and review that. That's about shipping 101. So we want to make sure your box isn't damaged when it arrives, because that sends kind of an icky tone. That makes the customer think, oh, great, now my product is going to be broken. So make sure you're taking care for that. And then you want to make sure, and I know that there's a big difference between if you're like a subscription box company and you're like shipping furniture or ladders or whatever it is that need to be put together. So we want to just make sure, we're clear about that. We know that it can't be as pretty if you are having to ship furniture that needs to be assembled. But you want to make sure that your box arrives undamaged. You want to make sure that the box, when they open it, they can easily access the product, that it is properly packed, so it's not been moving around and shaking inside the box, because that's where you're going to have damages. You want to make sure everything is clearly labeled, like each piece is labeled, that matches the directions. The directions should be sitting there, right there on top, so they're easy to see. They don't have to hunt, and that the hardware is easily identified and labeled. It's so important, because you want the customer to be able to take everything out of the box and lay it down out there on the floor or wherever it is they're doing it, and be able to assemble the product. You need your directions to be so specific and clear. Nowadays, all of the directions, or 90% of the directions, are all done by pictures, and that's so that it can work with people in multiple languages. But sometimes those pictures are hard to read, y'all. So let's make sure that you are trying to get a 5-year-old to assemble the products, so that even a 5-year-old can do it. Because if a 5-year-old can put it together, then probably, and not some Lego genius, those kids are going to be able to assemble anything without directions. So let's try and make sure our directions are easy for someone who's between 5 and 8 years old, that can look at the directions and follow them and not have to know how to read. A lot of 5-year-olds still don't know how to read, so you need to be able to make sure that they can put that product together easily, right? So that's if you're selling something that needs assembly. Now, if you're a subscription box service, you're a little bit different. Or maybe you're a smaller product. Maybe you're a candle company, maybe you sell sage, maybe you sell a wreath, whatever the case may be, or maybe you're a subscription box service that's like sells coffee or whatever. You have the ability to make your experience kind of more personal, make it a little pretty, right? And y'all probably have heard me talk about the company where I've ordered my dog shampoo from. So they do an amazing job of this. And I've seen several other businesses recently just do a great job. So the product comes and it arrives to my house, and the box is fully intact. Some companies, if they're subscription, they actually use that box that you can then just open, and you open the lid, and then laid out beautifully in front of you is the items that you've ordered. And they always make sure that the packaging around it has made it so that they won't, shift inside, and they won't break and everything else. Usually they do that through adding things like the raffia and all of that kind of stuff. But it ensures that your products arrive on time and in good shape. So on top of that, so you open your box and you have that, and usually they have like a little card or something that says, hey, thank you so much. And there's a little bit of the story about the business. They tell you the personal side that you're not going to get from their website. It's a little bit of an added touch that is really, really nice. Also, on that thank you note, that little card, it's going to ask for a review. And the smart companies say, hey, if you ask for a review and you want to purchase again, here is a special discount code that I'm going to offer you, so that you can have a special discount on being a repeat customer. That's freaking genius, y'all. So all of this is beautiful, and it is a good experience. I actually ordered a portable monitor for my desk at home, for my office at home, recently. And it came in a very, the cardboard box was very, it was good quality, not damaged and everything. And I opened the cardboard box. And then inside was a very sleek, and it was a white box, kind of a nod to Apple, sleek, really pretty, box that had the picture of the monitor on the outside. And then I could pull that out and I would open it. And it was laid out so wonderfully that it was such a nice experience that I probably should have recorded it, right? But at that point, by the time I was all this into it, I was like, oh, shoot, I don't have my phone. But it provided me a confident and really nice experience so that when I set up the monitor, it was great. And I love this monitor and it's portable. So I can use it with my iPad, or if I want to hook my iPhone up to it, or whatever the case may be. It's great. It also has Bluetooth, so I can use a keyboard if I want. So my point is, here I'm going on and on about this monitor, but I had a great unboxing experience. So that just tells you how important it is to pay attention to the little details that you have control over. You have control over the customer experience as it relates to the time that it hits their doorstep. Make sure it's a good one. You don't want to have a situation where the customer doesn't have enough hardware. That's a bummer. I've had that happen to me, and I can't assemble something. You don't want to have a product arrive damaged. That's a really bad experience. You want to make sure you give the opportunity. Even the big companies like Savavia, they still put in a thank you note, and they still put in, hey, leave us a review. That's a huge, hundreds of millions of dollars business, and they pay attention to the little small things. So think about that. You need to pay attention to what it's like to be the customer. All right, y'all, if you found this helpful, I have really, rattled on about this, but I feel kind of passionate about it if you can't tell. So if you like this video, do me a favor and hit like. If you'd like to learn more about our free group, how to sell products online and how we can help you with the customer experience, then click the link in the description and you can ask to join. All right, y'all, thanks a bunch. Bye.